Chief of Staff to the President inaugurates projects, charges political office holders on service delivery. Security experts calls for statutory roles for traditional rulers to tackle security challenges. Good evening and welcome to NTA Ijebu, the news at 7. My name is Temidayo Famoyegu. The Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, has urged political office holders in the country to use their position to improve the well-being of the citizenry by contributing their quota judiciously. The Chief of Staff was speaking at the inauguration of a series of projects in Lagos State. Heze Nwamaka reports.
It was more like a homecoming for the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, who before now represented Surulere 1 Federal Constituency at the 10th House of Representatives, inaugurating 4 projects in different locations across Lagos, alongside the Minister of State for Education, Dr. Yusuf Sununu, and the Minister of State for Health, Dr. Tunji Alausa. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who led the initiative of the federal government, stated that the inauguration of the project is a testament of the government's goodwill to the people.
When we say that for us in Lagos is about the collaborative effort that the executive, the legislative at any strata, that will continue to collaborate and ensure that we're the same coin, with different side of the coin.
The Chief of Staff reiterated his commitment to working for the interest of Lagosians.
I want to assure all of you here today that in every role and in every assignment, I will continue to serve with a gratitude to God and to all the citizens who have vested their faith in me, in my party, the All Progressive Congress, and in our President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR.
Some of the projects inaugurated by the Chief of Staff include a conference center at the Lagos State University Ojo, newly rehabilitated Babs Animashaun Road, Surulere, Samson Ibare Community Development Center, as well as a newly constructed general hospital in Surulere. One of the legacy projects inaugurated by the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, is the newly constructed general hospital named after him, and it is aimed at providing quality health care to Lagos residents. In Lagos, S.A. Owamaka, NTA.
There is a renewed drive to accelerate delivery of reforms that will improve electricity supply nationwide as Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu unveils quick wins for the sector this year. Joshua Ojito takes a look at priority areas and how they will turn around the sector.
2024, a new year with hopes for improved electricity supply as the Power Minister unveils turnaround agenda for the sector. From the boardroom to the power substations, the Power Minister says the objective is to achieve sufficient electricity supply nationwide. To ensure customers pay only for electricity consumed, a review of cost-reflective tariff is underway as federal government says subsidy for the vulnerable customers will be sustained. Closing the metering gap will be given attention to address liquidity crisis in the sector, as well as ensure every customer is metered. To strengthen transmission infrastructure, federal government is accelerating implementation of Presidential Power Initiative to speed up completion of Siemens project.
The equipment are beginning to arrive. At the same time that work is going on in transmission, work is also going on in the distribution. So those weaknesses, the deficiencies, will now be reaped or harvested same time.
Not just increasing the reforms in the regulatory aspect, the federal government is also taking measures to do some in-house cleansing. To this end, the Transmission Company of Nigeria is to be unbundled, while regional grids will be established for effective management of the grid.
The Electricity Act 2023 now allows, in line with the 1999 Constitution as amended, that states may establish the legal, regulatory and commercial frameworks for their domestic electricity markets.
Ensuring every power plant generates at full installed capacity is what federal government targets with investment in off-grid and renewable energy. On energy theft and vandalization of power infrastructure, a joint support team will be constituted in collaboration with the Office of the National Security Advisor to address the menace. While electricity customers await implementation of turnaround agenda for the power sector, they can only hope it will translate to sufficient power supply. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
In a close review of the year 2023, the FCT Emergency Management Agency saved 1,845 lives through 24 calls via its 112 emergency toll-free number. 19 lives were, however, lost to disaster and emergency situation across the nation's capital in the year under review. In this report, correspondent Olunotu Yakubu brings up highlights of the sector in the year 2023.
From Life Camp to Kubwa through Wuse, building collapse in parts of the city constituted threats and gave cause for worry for residents. A breakdown of search and rescue operations indicated 1,373 lives rescued from flood disaster, 4 lives lost to building collapse, 173 saved from 5 calls, and 6 lives lost. Major fire outbreaks made the records with 247 lives saved and 2 lost. Flood-induced casualties used to be a case too many in the FCT a couple of years ago. Today, proactive mitigative measures change the narrative.
Trademore has been declared a disaster zone. Why? Because we had 116 houses marked for demolition because they are all built on waterways. But these houses, we were not given the opportunity to remove these structures because they took the FCT administration to court.
Although, with resignation of the organization's pioneer director general and in the face of the prevailing circumstances, emergency management model in the FCT, according to observers, reference an emerging city constantly striving to enhance safety and service delivery.
One of our major responsibilities is disseminating early warning signs to the public and sensitization activities.
However, the FCT is saying that public safety is a fundamental right in democratic societies, as the role of government has continually fueled agencies and other local actors in proactive steps to identify hazards and impede on the prevailing situation. In Abuja, Olunotu Yakubu, NTA News.
2023 was an eventful year. It was a combination of the good and challenging days. From the cash crunch elections, court cases on election results to the Students' Loan Act and many others. Each sector has stories to tell. In this report, Engineer John Adams takes a look at major activities in the year and how they shaped the country.
At the start of the year 2023, Nigerians were full of high expectations that it will birth great opportunities, especially being an election year. With days turning to months, events began to unfold. The nation witnessed a period of cash crunch as a fallout from the Naira redesign policy. This did not sit well with many as they had to go through hardships to initiate transactions. Nigerians breathed a sigh of relief when the Supreme Court ruled that the old and new Naira note will coexist as legal tender till further notice. A new administration came into power in May with a renewed hope agenda. The president, during his inaugural speech, announced the removal of fuel subsidy and palliatives to cushion the effects. This came as a shock to many Nigerians, but analysts say was a vital step towards economic recovery.
Our largest expense in terms of recurrent expenditure is subsidy payments, and what suffers are basic infrastructure, primary health care, education. I see those as avenues where these funds can actually be properly deployed to.
As expected, Appointment of cabinet members were made, as well as creation of new ministries like marine and blue economy, tourism, gas resources, among others. President Bola Tinubu, shortly after assumption of office, signed the student loan bill into law.
The time limit we have to raise our school fees most time it's limited. So going for a student loan is actually, I welcome that idea.
Another major event in the year 2023 was 2024 budget proposal presentation of 27.5 trillion naira to the National Assembly by President Tinubu, which was his first budget proposal since assumption of office.
Still should be better, especially these petrol prices.
When the fuel price is being reduced, at least to relieve people little.
As the year progresses, these respondents say they believe in a better Nigeria. In Lagos, Hinginu, John Adams, NTA News.
With the current security challenges in Plateau State, security experts have advised that traditional rulers should be given a statutory role in conflict resolution management in the state, while suggesting strategies that can help tackle security challenges in Plateau State on Good Morning Nigeria. The experts said this will enable them resolve disputes at communal level before it escalates. Ekimini Williams reports.
115 people were killed following an attack on several communities in Bokos and Barakin Ladi local government areas in Plateau State. This is the latest in the recurring incidents of killings in Plateau State that seem to have defied numerous presidential proclamations and security interventions. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria again identified the indigene-settler dichotomy, proliferation of small arms and light weapons, criminality, as well as the incapacitation of traditional rulers as factors that have contributed to the recurring crisis in Plateau State.
The role of traditional rulers, that is virtually non-existent at all in the Plateau as far as that crisis is concerned. Two, is the total submission of the role of these traditional rulers to the youth and youth organization, because the issue of land and conflict cannot be settled by the youth.
And if we had lived in that mutual trust, I want to assure you that it will be very difficult for us maybe to find issues that will linger to this extent.
To address this security challenge, the experts advised the state government to consider reviewing the 2010 Goodluck Jonathan Security Report and restore the peace-building board established by former Governor Simon Lalong. They also advised that statutory powers be given to traditional rulers to settle land disputes.
The committee set up by President Jonathan, chaired by Solomon Lahucha, said, which I'm not supposed to make public, but it went to the grassroots. And like I said, nobody has come out sincerely and recommendations and carried them out.
We had similar situations, trouble here, trouble there in Plateau State. But immediately when Jonathan left, when Lalong came in, the situation was put under control.
The issue of proliferation of small arms and light weapons. The carnage that we saw in the plateau could not have been possible if there were no small arms and light weapons in circulation. And enough evidence have come out from highly respected persons.
The guest also urged the elites in Plateau State to take up roles in peace building in their various communities and villages. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
Benue State Governor Yacinta Halia has advocated strategic unity and inter-border partnership between the states of Plateau, Nasarawa, Niger, Benue to end incessant attack on farming communities in these states. The governor made the call in Jos, Plateau State capital, to sympathize with the governor and the entire people of the state over the recent unprovoked attacks on Boko's Abakin Ladi, where no fewer than 200 persons were reportedly killed on the eve of Christmas by armed bandits.
Statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor Teso Kula, Governor Ali announced a donation of 100 million naira from the 4 governors to the families and the affected communities. The statement further adds that Chairman of the North Central Governors Forum, Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State, insisted that those who attack and kill innocent people are terrorists and must be treated as such. Responding, Plateau State Governor Caleb Mofweng appreciated his colleagues for commiserating with him, describing the killing as unfortunate.
Shortly after the break, please stay tuned.
NTA na Ijebu ogbonge thing. NTA achowe salute o. NTA na Ijebu ogbonge thing. NTA na baba. NTA Ijebu, your heritage station.
Welcome back. And for the trending news and the world of sports, let's now join Austin Edemodu from our sports desk.
Countdown to AFCON 2024 in Cote d'Ivoire, Royal Antwerp star Al-Hassan Yusuf has been called up to the Super Eagles camp in Abu Dhabi following the recent injury setback to midfielder Wilfred Ndidi. It could be recalled that his Leicester City teammate Kelechi Iheanacho had already withdrawn from the AFCON squad due to injury. Grassroots football has been identified as the best platform to discover new talents from the many young Nigerians aspiring to become professional footballers in future, as Kafa football tournament continue to give youths in total community of Nasarawa State the opportunity to showcase their football talents in promoting peaceful cohesion amongst its people. Meanwhile, Nigeria has been announced as the host country for Para-Volley African qualifiers for 2024 Olympics in Paris. 11 teams have indicated interest to participate in the qualifiers that is scheduled to take place at the National Stadium Surulere in Lagos. According to Para-Volley Africa, the draw will take place on the 6th of January 2024.
Carolina Pliskova just loves playing in Brisbane.
In tennis, Naomi Osaka lost her second match of her comeback at Brisbane International to Carolina Pliskova, another former world number 1. Pliskova, 3 times champion, prevailed on Osaka 3-6, 7-6, 6-4 in the Pats Rafter Arena. On a sad note, FIFA Under-17 World Cup winning coach in China 1985, Sebastian Broderick, has passed on at the age of 86. The former Electricity Corporation of Nigeria and Bendel Insurance midfielder was a member of the National Challenge Cup winners with ECN and also a member of the 1968 Olympics team. Late Broderick also coached Nigerian club sides including Bendel Insurance, Academy Warriors and Odoji United. With Sports Update, I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
And just before we bring the news to an end, let's quickly run through the highlights. Chief of Staff to the President inaugurates projects, charges political office holders on service delivery. Security experts calls for statutory rules for traditional rulers to tackle security challenges. And here ends the news tonight. Good night.